Welcome guys, Shadi from Abu Dhabi, out here at the open workouts of AbdulKareem at UAE Fitness. I'm here with UFC fighter AbdulKareem AlSelwady, the first Brazilian born UFC fighter in the UFC. Had the testing before at the UFC, but Jordan as both. It's great to have you in Abu Dhabi. First of all, tell us how did you start your MMA journey? How did you start fighting wrestling?
Since I was younger, I always found myself fighting, and thankfully I found kickboxing first. It was the best outlet for me to use my energy, and always gave me that focus to be better instead of getting in fights in school. Training at a gym was like a place to take it to the next level and get better. And until I was around 17 years old, I found myself getting an MMA debut on 10 days notice. I was so young, I don't even know what's going on. I just loved MMA, and I knocked the guy out in the first round in Desert Force, and things just kept growing from there. It was great, and I won the Desert Force title, and I kept winning fights after fights. I got into Brave, and the dream was always to fight in the UFC. Because for me, fighting makes me the best version of myself. You have to sleep on time, you have to eat right, you have to train hard, you always have to get better. And I just enjoy it because of the type of person it makes me when I'm fighting, when I'm training, when I'm disciplined. So all of those things got me into fighting. It just makes me an overall better person.
I understand what you mean, and I relate to that as well, because I started training myself, and I do see the improvements in myself, in my temperament, in my sleep pattern, in my mood as well. You know what I mean? So it definitely does help. But you've done it at a higher level, and taking fights with short notice, big fights with short notice has kind of been like your signature. Recently, you took a fight at the Contender series. You know what I mean? You won that fight by unanimous decision, and that's the fight that got you to the UFC. And all of us are here to support it. And another fighter that's going to be walking in with a Kenyan flag, full on Arab, to be fighting at the highest level. I think you're inspiring generations to come. And I also feel like it's kind of happening at the perfect time with everything that's happening in the Middle East, everything that's happening in Palestine. For us to have a representative, somebody, like even your nickname, you know what I'm saying, represents Palestine itself, So very excited to have you here. In terms of the UFC, where do you see yourself making it? Of course, all of us want you to become champ, but are we going for double champ? Are we going for undefeated status? Are we undefeated in the UFC?
Yeah. So, obviously I'm not putting myself through all this hard work and choosing fighting as a career just for the heck of it. I want to take this to the highest level that I absolutely can. My first goal, is to become ranked and then climb the rankings until I reach the championship. So, I promised myself, I promised my dad that I was going to be a UFC champion one day, and that's really where my mind is at. That's where my focus is at, and I know it's a very big and tough challenge. So that's what excites me and motivates me the most. Because now it's like I'm always working towards that goal. So I definitely want to be UFC champ.
Absolutely, and we believe you can be UFC champ too. In terms of specific route, do you have a route where I would like to fight number 18 and then number 14 and with specific names, or do you want to keep that?
So really, it would make sense to say that once you're already ranked or right about to be ranked, because then you have specific names of people that have a spot or a number that you want.
Okay.
Right now, at this point, I still have to do my UFC debut. I have to beat my first guy or two. Then I'll start calling out guys that have numbers by their name that I want to take their spot. Because you got to be realistic. I know I could beat anyone right now, but I also don't want to just say something that's not going to happen. If I ever call someone out, that fight is going to happen. I don't just want to go to call out number 10 or number 5 right now, and they're going to be like, who is that guy? He didn't even have his first UFC fight. So I I need to go in the UFC and destroy my first opponents, and then I'll start calling out my guys. Just like how they put someone in front of me my last fight where everyone had him hyped. Everyone said he was the best fighter outside the UFC, and I completely destroyed him. That's what I'm going to do to my next guy. But I need to have my fight first, show everyone what I'm capable of doing and what I'm going to come here for.
We're excited to have you, and we're looking forward to it. In terms of the grappling competition, ABXC one, just let us know, how did this come about? How did you end up fighting in Abu Dhabi? What do you know about your opponent? And can you tell us how it happened?
So I really wanted to fight UFC Abu Dhabi, which is this weekend, the day after this event. That didn't come, they pulled up the card and it didn't work out. But then I got hit up by the promotion to come compete for ADXC, and I was like, man, this is crazy. It's happening for a reason. And the way I'm looking at it now is I'm going to do ADXC, win this fight, and then soon after I'm going to get the UFC call for my next fight. So if I had taken that UFC fight, I wouldn't have been able to be part of this. So I'm really excited. It works out great. You know, you can have both right now, this and the UFC fight. So I'm excited for that. As for my opponent, I don't know much about him, but it makes me excited, you know, to know that he's an MMA fighter, 10-1, so that's a good, solid record. So yeah, you know, to start off ADXC with a nice big win over a solid opponent, it's going to be nice and exciting for him.
I think it's going to be very nice and exciting for us as well. It will also be a great way to introduce you on the ground to Abu Dhabi fans, you know what I'm saying? And of course, if you get a finish, that will only elevate your status and your profile to the next level. AbdulKareem AlSelwady, I think this was short and sweet, as sweet as it can go. Thank you so much for your time. Guys, like, subscribe, and comment on this video. Tell us which UFC fighter you want us to have next. AlSelwady, if you have anything you want to tell us.
Thank you guys for supporting the channel. Like I said, leave your likes and comments and share, and we'll see you guys next time.